Welcome everyone. I love that sound. So refreshing. Good to see you today. I'm Helene. For those of you who are new at Cabin Fever Crochet, just thought I would come on for a few, show you some of my recent makes. I hope you are doing well and having a great day. I am tired, but it is a gorgeous afternoon. Fourth one in the 60s. It's all going to change next week, going back down into the 40s again. So that's spring around here in northeastern Washington state. So I will take it as it comes and enjoy this glorious day. Now that I slobbered all over myself. So I wanted to just show you a few things and ask you if you're interested in a tutorial on one of them. Some of the jewelry. One, I already have a tutorial on my crochet bracelets, and then I made something else I thought I would share anyway, and I may or may not, depending on your response, go ahead and do a tutorial. For those out there who might be interested, thumbs up. That'll help let me know. Right in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And so this is my Knot, K-N-O-T, Not So Granny shawl. I mentioned it recently, but I made another one for someone, a custom order. And before I get it to her, I thought I would show this to you. And this is in the Michael's Loops and Threads, their Barcelona yarn. It's renamed Impressions yarn, which is the same yarn as Premier Puzzle. Sadly, they do not have this color anymore. So pretty with, oh gosh, like the burgundy, turquoise, teal, royal blue. That's really pretty. It's a really easy shawl. So if you are newer to crochet, it's beginner friendly. Super easy to do, works up pretty quickly. It does have cluster stitches, but as with everything, I go through step by step and show you how to do them. So if you haven't yet and would like to learn, this is a good place to start. Such a pretty day. I had to come outside, of course. Pretty soon it's going to be lake time, so stay tuned for Yarn on the Lake episodes where I just do some shares and talk about yarny things and show you maybe what I have going on, what's new. It's a nice place to sit and visit for a little while. Oh, that's a good shot of it. And so this is a nice big one. I just had a little bit of yarn left, and I asked if she would like a tassel or a little fringe just on each end. She thought it looked good, just the way it is. So sweet. She is gifting this to a really sweet, tiny little older lady that goes to her church, she said, who is always cold. And it was her birthday recently, and she thought a good excuse to give that to her. Good reason. So I thought that was so thoughtful and sweet. So it's a big one, and it's nice and thick because of the cluster stitches and using that chunky weight. It's a number 5 on the ball band, but to me it's like a chunky weight. It's not a thick, bulky number 5. You can go with like a J or a K hook. I think I worked this in a J just so the stitches would be a little closer together and even that much warmer. So this is big one, so she'll be able to wrap around her like a blanket shawl. And then just a couple of other little things today. My crochet beaded bracelets, and I'm sure some of you have seen these a number of times, but I just used a variety of yarn. I'd say with like a standard number 3 weight is really good for this, like Lion Brand 24/7, the mercerized cotton. Go with a natural fiber, something that's strong and has good shape retention and resiliency. So if it stretches, it's going to bounce back. I will leave the link for that tutorial in the description box, and I don't have a written pattern for this one. And it is a long video. It's one of my earlier ones. There's a lot of detailed information on supplies and so forth, but you can always scroll through to get the basics of what you need. and then get right to the tutorial if you prefer. So I made a whole bunch of these and just little metal buttons, and hopefully they're showing up well, and just a variety of colors. And I had some really skinny thread-like yarn that I mixed with. It's cotton, I think, with a little bit of silk and viscose, and that is a light number 2. So then I mixed the metallic, and then with this one I mixed another one of the Lion Brand Summer Nights and used some, the beads that I have that I use for a variety of projects because I make jewelry as well. And then back to this one, I just put different buttons that I might have that I think look cute with it. And they're comfortable and they're easy with the button and loop closure. They're really easy to put on, but I just make sure that the edging around the button is smooth so that it doesn't get hung up on the yarn, because some are so pretty, but they're a little bit rough on the edges, and then they can get hung up and snag the yarn too. And I take these, I made a bunch because I'm going to do the farmer's market some this year, and I will take you there with me too for the first day of the market. We can see if there are any new people there, what's what. And then as the market progresses through the season, we get more producers that come in, and then other people, and some that just come in periodically. Oh, my hat. Did I mention my hat? I've worn this for several years. I've had it, and I have a whole bunch. I have like a whole fleet. These hats are my summer baseball cap hat, and it has an optional ponytail port in back, which I like, which works for me, but you don't have to make the width if you want. And this is in an ice yarn, and the mercerized cotton is it's pretty fine. It was like a light number 2 weight. I didn't realize it was going to be so skinny, so I put at least three strands together. Could have even been 4, but I'm pretty sure 3. And I just love how it turned out. I thought it was so fun, and it's comfortable, it's breathable. Now, if it's 90 plus degrees out, it might be a little too much for the most part of the summer here. They're great. These do really well. I also work them in the Caron cotton cakes, and you can add a flower. I have a video for a cute flower that fits perfectly in the size and everything on here, so I will leave those 2 links below for this cap and the flower, Cosmos flower. And last up is I got back into macrame last year before last, and I just playing around and came up with these bracelets, and they did well, so I decided to make more. And then I did different variations and came out with 2 new designs. So I started out, it just kind of created itself. It was so fun. And see, these are pewter buttons, lead-free, made in the USA by Tierra Cast. My absolute favorite. They've been my go-to for various jewelry findings, including beautiful sterling silver ear wires, so reasonably priced. They've been in business 45 years, and I've been using their products at least 25. And I'm so bummed and so sad that they stopped at the end of this last year, December 2023. And I didn't find out until the new year, so I kind of scrambled to see where I could find more of some of their findings online that I use all the time. It's too bad because they're made in the USA, such good quality. I'm hoping that someone else will, or someone's will pick up that company and continue and keep the quality and manufactured here and just everything as it has been. So if you can find them, great stuff. This was my original design or variation of that. And these are vintage glass beads with Japanese glass seed beads going around them, and it turned into a flower. And it is so fun to make, and I just enjoy them so much. Now, I am using a nylon macrame cord, but if you have a thinner yarn that has some good body to it, hold its shape, you could use that. However, to secure and seal. It's a word I'm looking for. To seal the ends where the beginning loop is, and then the end, the back of the button. If you are using a natural fiber, you're going to have to glue it. But if you are using a synthetic, then you can burn it. If you have a thread burner, you can use that. If you have a little lighter, you can use that. And I do the lighter and then I glue it anyway, just for that extra security. And I use a jewelry cement glue with a really fine, it's the GS Hypo cement, but probably when I do that tutorial, I'll show you the supplies. And I'm going to make this one a lot shorter than my original crochet beaded bracelet tutorial, or at least somewhat shorter. The first one I made this year is I had this mood bead, color changing bead, that I purchased a couple of years ago, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. And I thought, oh, that would make a good focal point for a bracelet. Oh, that's what I did. This one I'm keeping for me, as I think it's good to keep one, to have a prototype. It's nice taking photographs and everything, but there's nothing like having it there in person where you can look at it front and back and close up, and especially if it's a little while in between making them. Of course, you always refer back to the tutorial, but also too to wear and to show people, and especially if you think you might want to sell some, You can also do the self-cinch sliding closure, which look nice as well, but for some, to me, this really just, the button finishes it off and takes it to another level. But that depends too, of course, that adds to the cost of it. And I also paired this with Red Creek Jasper, and in the center are vintage glass beads, and then the Toho Japanese glass seed beads. There it's getting a little bit yellow and going to green. So these are really fun. Mirage beads, and I get those on artbeads.com. This is Crazy Lace Agate heat enhanced, or color enhanced rather, which is just another way of saying it's dyed, which usually I prefer just the natural stones. I thought those were pretty and different, and just mixing with the blues and browns together gives a nice earthy look to it. And this is a copper plated pewter dragonfly button from that same company. See the dimension in that? They're just so well made. Have an idea for graduated shape with hematite. It is said to be good for arthritis and joints, and so when you're crocheting, doing work, that's could be a good thing to wear, and that's subjective, dependent on each individual person. I'm not making medical claims, just saying what it is known for and what is said to be. And here is a lampwork glass bead in the center with rose quartz, and then the glass seed beads. And that one has a silver plated pewter dragonfly. That was a fun one. Just did a little pop of the turquoise just in the center flower. They have some substance to it, but they're not heavy. They're just a very comfortable mid-weight. And if anyone is interested in purchasing them, let me know. I think the price range, depending on what's in it, using excuse me, the natural stones and these buttons, and the materials add up, the time and so forth. I think they're going to be in the 34 to 38 range. And this is one of the buttons, but when I said earlier about having a button that is smooth around the edges, Well, I thought I would use this as part of the clasp, but the edges, it has that texture from the shape of it, where it's cut out, goes in and out, and that gets hung up. I couldn't even put it through the loop, so I tested it first. No way. So, okay, now what else can I do with it? Aha! Another focal. You know, I thought that came out really pretty. And then here's the back of it. That worked out well. And this is also rose quartz. This one is, I believe that's Amazonite. I just kept that one simple too. So I have the three different, you know, with the bead in the center, and then just all small flowers. And this kind of creates a different look too, with the placement and the alternating of the colors. Not, to me, not so much a flower shape, a bit more of a geometric shape. And that's neat. That's a bamboo pewter. I like pewter a lot. Yeah, so now I have three. So then I'm going to do a little bit different design with the hematite, and then I have some ideas for other macrame bracelets too. Well, I like bracelets. I thought they would be fun to have. The more simple ones, I'm going to do some that, is that one of my chickens? Yep. Those are going to be lower priced. I want to try to do some more in the 20-something range, but they do take a lot of beads and start adding up on these glass seed beads, especially the nicer ones like this. And I like the Toho because they're precision cut, they're consistent, and they're even in the shape and the color, and usually the whole diameter too. And that does make a difference. But you know, you use and get and buy do whatever you like. I'm just saying this is what I like, what my customers like, what I enjoy working with, the time that I put into it. I want to yield the best results, but at a fair price point too. So I don't want to be a collector and then just invest in this stuff and have it sit. All right. Thanks for being here. This came out longer than I intended, but I hope you enjoyed being here with me today, because I always enjoy coming on and being with you. See you soon. Bye.